What if the one thing you refuse is the very thing quietly saving you? She burned his money, rejected his world, and swore no man could ever buy her dreams. But what she never saw was how a stranger stood in the shadows of her struggle, shaping her future, without asking for anything in return. Who was he really? And why did his silence change everything she believed about love? Stay with me, because the moment she discovers the truth will change her life forever. Before we dive into the incredible story, do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you never miss our powerful, life-changing content. Thank you for listening to this heartfelt story. If it moved you, share it, comments below, and let someone know you are never alone. The wind tasted of iron and dust as it slipped through the broken boards of my studio. I held my brush, fingers stiff, paint cracked like the land beyond the window. He arrived again, boots too clean for this place, voice soft enough to disturb me more than noise. I want to buy your work, he said. I laughed. Sharp. Why? I do not sell to men who measure beauty in coins. His eyes held something. Not pride, not offense, something quieter. He left money on the table. I threw it into the stove, watched it curl, burn, disappear. The smell lingered, heavy, unsettling. Days stretched, empty plates, colder nights. Then something shifted. Crate appeared, canvas, better than I ever touched. No name, another morning, fresh pigments, colors I only dreamed of. My chest tightened, suspicion, heat rising beneath my skin. I stepped outside. The frontier opened wide, gold light spilling across endless land. And there he stood, far off, watching the horizon, as if he belonged to it. Shock struck, sudden, sharp. Every gift, every quiet mercy, every unseen hand. I walked toward him, heart loud, each step heavier than the last. You think I need saving? My voice trembled. Anger and something deeper. He turned slowly. No, just that. The wind stilled. Or maybe I did. I saw your work, and I believed in it, before you allowed yourself to. The words settled into me. Uncomfortable, tender, unavoidable. My hands shook, not from cold, from understanding. Every rejection, every flame I fed with pride. He answered with silence, with patience, with care. The world felt too large suddenly, and I felt seen within it, not small, not pitted. Tears blurred the horizon. I stepped closer, close enough to hear his breath, close enough to feel the weight of everything unspoken. And for the first time, I wondered what it meant to accept a love that asked for nothing, yet gave me everything. And I stood there, caught between pride and something softer, breaking open inside my chest. The sky stretched endless, blue fading into gold, like a promise I never trusted before. I never asked for this, I said. But my voice felt smaller now. He nodded, as if he understood the words beneath the words. I know. Silence settled again. Alive. A wagon creaked somewhere behind me. Horses breathing slow. The scent of leather and sun-warmed dust wrapped around us. I noticed then, his hands, not soft, not untouched by life, worn, scarred, honest. Discomfort stirred in me, sharp as a thorn. I had imagined him wrong. The realization pressed against my ribs. Unforgiving. You watched me struggle. Each word tasted bitter. I watched you fight, he said. The difference struck deep, unsettling, impossible to ignore. My heartbeat climbed, louder, faster. Memories flashed, empty nights, paint scraped thin, hope flickering like a dying flame. And then, color returning, quietly, without demand. My knees weakened slightly. The ground felt unsteady. The world shifted beneath me, not falling apart, but rearranging. I stepped closer again, Too close for distance. Too far for comfort. Why me? The question escaped. Unpolished. His gaze held mine. Steady. Unwavering. Because you never stopped seeing beauty. Even when it hurt you to. The words sank deep. Deeper than pride could shield. A tremor ran through me. The wind rose suddenly, lifting strands of my hair, cool against flushed skin. Everything felt sharper. The light, air, the space between us. I realized then, this was the moment. Not gentle, not easy, turning. My chest tightened. Fear and longing twisting together. To accept him meant letting go of the armor I carried. Meant trusting something I never controlled. My fingers curled slowly, aching with the weight of the choice. Behind me, my studio waited. Cracked walls, silent witness to every lonely night. Before me, he stood, quiet, certain, offering nothing, yet everything. The distance between us thinned, breath by breath, and I felt it, that fragile, terrifying shift, as my heart began to lean toward him, before my mind could pull it back. Before my mind could pull it back, my hand lifted, hesitant, caught in the space between fear and want. The air felt heavier, as if the world leaned in, waiting. His breath slowed. He saw it, felt it, like a quiet rhythm calling mine closer. My fingers brushed his sleeve, rough fabric, warm beneath the sun. A shock traveled through me. Not pain, something deeper, something that unsettled everything I believed steady. I almost stepped away. Almost. But the ground behind me felt farther now. Like the life I clung to had already begun to loosen its hold. You change things, I whispered. My voice barely held shape. His gaze softened. Not triumph, not expectation, only patience. I never wanted to change you. The words landed gently, yet they shook me more than force ever could. The wind rushed again, stronger this time, lifting dust into the air, stung my eyes. Or maybe that sting came from within. Closed them briefly, and saw it all. The nights I chose hunger over help. The stubborn fire that kept me standing. The loneliness I wore like armor. And beneath it, quiet longing, I never allowed to speak. When I opened my eyes, he stood closer. Or maybe I moved. I could feel his presence now. Solid, real, undeniable. My heartbeat filled my ears, loud enough to drown the world. This scares me, I said. Honest. He nodded slowly. It should. No comfort. No false softness. Only truth. And somehow, that steadied me. My hand shifted. From his sleeve. To his wrist. His pulse met mine. Strong. Grounding. The contact sent a warmth through me. Spreading. Unfamiliar. Unavoidable. The horizon behind him burned gold. Light spilling across the land. Turning everything into something almost unreal. I realized then, this moment carried weight. Not loud, not dramatic, but irreversible. If I stepped forward, there would be no returning to who I was. My breath caught. The world narrowed. To him. To this. To the fragile space where choice lived. His other hand lifted slightly, then paused, as if waiting for permission I never gave easily. Pause. That restraint unraveled something inside me. Slowly, completely, my grip tightened, not to hold him back, but to hold on. And as the wind circled us, restless, alive, I felt the last pieces of my resistance shift, not breaking, becoming something else, something uncertain, something vast, something that pulled me closer, until even the space between our breaths began to disappear. Until even the space between our breaths began to disappear. His warmth reached me first, subtle, then undeniable. My chest rose sharply, air catching halfway, as if my body forgot its rhythm. The world faded, edges softening, sound pulling inward. Only him, only this, My fingers trembled against his wrist. Yet I held on, afraid the moment might vanish. If I loosened my grip, "You can still walk away," he said. The words struck, sudden, unsettling. A flicker of the past rose in me. That familiar instinct, turn, to protect, to remain untouched. My stomach tightened, a quiet ache spreading outward. I looked past him, to the open land, endless, untamed, safe in its loneliness. Then I looked back, at the man who never forced his way in, who stayed at the edge of my world, until I chose to see him. The contrast pulled at me, harder than I expected. My throat felt dry, each breath heavier than the last. "I do not want to walk away." The confession slipped out, fragile, yet steady. Something shifted in his expression. Not relief, something deeper. Something that mirrored the storm inside me. The wind softened, as if the land itself exhaled. His hand finally moved, low, deliberate. It rested lightly against mine. Not taking, not claiming, just there. The contact sent a quiet warmth through my arm, spreading into my chest, settling in places long untouched. My pulse slowed, then deepened. Each second stretched, full, alive. I became aware of everything. The faint creak of wood behind me, the distant call of a bird, the golden light brushing against his face, and the way he looked at me, as if I was something to be understood, not possessed. The realization pressed into me, firm, unavoidable. All this time, I feared losing myself, yet standing here, I felt more whole than I ever allowed before. My grip shifted again, less guarded now, more certain. I stepped closer, close enough to feel the rise of his breath, to see the fine lines time had written across his skin, evidence of a life lived, not hidden. The closeness stirred something new, quiet vulnerability, yet steady. My heart moved first, leaning into the moment, before thought could interrupt. And as the silence wrapped around us, gentle, uncharted, I felt it clearly. This was no longer about resistance, no longer about fear. It was about what comes after, when two lives stand on the edge of becoming, and neither one turns away. And in that fragile space, where choice transforms into something deeper, my fingers slowly intertwined with his, as if learning a language my heart had always known. His fingers answered mine, not tight, not claiming, but certain. A quiet steadiness passed between us, like something rooted deep beneath the earth, unseen, yet unshakable. My breath softened, falling into rhythm with his. For a moment, everything felt almost still. Then the discomfort returned, sharp, unexpected, pulled slightly, not enough to break away, just enough to feel the tension. "This changes everything," I said. The words felt heavier now, real. He watched me carefully, as if weighing more than what I spoke. Yes, no hesitation. The honesty struck again, clean, unyielding. My chest tightened, a different ache this time. Not fear of him, fear of what I must face within myself. The studio behind me suddenly felt closer, its broken windows, its hollow quiet, a reflection of all the years. I chose solitude over risk. I turned my head slightly, the sight of it pressing into me. Dust moved across the threshold, low, restless. I imagined stepping back inside, closing the door, returning to the life I understood. Safe, controlled, alone. The thought lingered, longer than I expected. My grip loosened, just a fraction, and I felt it immediately. That subtle distance, that quiet loss. It unsettled me more than anything before. I looked back at him. He had not moved, still present, still patient. But there was something else now. Quiet readiness to let me go. The realization struck hard. He would not chase. He would not pull me back. Choice, remained mine, always mine. A wave of emotion rose, unexpected, strong. It burned behind my eyes, tightened my throat. You would let me leave. My voice wavered. He nodded once. The simplicity of it cut deeper than any plea ever could. The wind picked up again, cool against my skin, carrying the scent of distance, of roads untraveled, and something inside me resisted it, fiercely. My hand tightened around his again, this time with purpose. My heart pounded, loud, insistent. I am tired, I said. The confession felt different, heavier, true. Tired of holding everything alone. The words broke open something inside me. The air shifted. His thumb moved slightly. Small motion, yet it grounded me instantly. No grand promise. No overwhelming gesture. Just presence. Steady. Real. My shoulders lowered. Tension slipping away. Piece by piece. The world no longer felt like something to fight, but something I could step into. With him. The realization settled slowly, deep within my chest, and as I stood there, caught between who I had been and who I was becoming, I felt the weight of my next step, not forced, not rushed, but inevitable, as my body leaned closer, drawn by something stronger than fear, something patient, something that had been waiting, long before I ever turned to face it. Something that had been waiting, long before I ever turned to face it. I stepped forward fully this time. No hesitation left to hide behind. The distance between us disappeared. Quietly, completely. His hand rose, resting gently against my cheek. Warm, steady. I closed my eyes, not to escape, but to feel. The wind softened around us, as if the world itself had grown still. To witness what I had fought for so long. I see you, I whispered. The words carried everything, every fear, every moment of resistance, every silent hope I buried. His forehead touched mine, simple, unadorned. I have always seen you, and in that truth, something inside me finally settled. Not the fire that burned in defiance, but a deeper flame. One that warmed instead of consumed. Tears slipped free. Low. Unashamed. For the first time. They felt like release. Not weakness. I turned slightly, looking back at my studio. Its broken edges no longer felt like failure, but proof. Proof that I endured. That I created. That I survived. Now, I no longer stood alone within it. The land stretched wide before us. Golden. Endless, full of paths I once feared to walk. I took a breath, full, steady, then another, and I did not pull away. Days passed into motion, brush meeting canvas again, but different now. Color richer, hand steadier, not because life grew easier, but because I allowed myself to be held within it. He never asked for my art, never placed a price on it. Yet he stood beside every piece I created, as if it mattered, as if I mattered, and slowly, I understood. Love was never the weight I feared. It was the quiet strength that carried me. When I grew tired, the greatest shock was never him. It was realizing I had been worthy of this all along, and that true generosity does not seek control, gives, silently, patiently, until the heart it touches learns how to open, and in opening, learns how to live.